Unit 12. Exercise 1. On April 12, 1955, the day that the U.S. government announced that the new polio vaccine was safe and effective, its inventor, Jonas Salk, was asked on television who owned the vaccine. He famously replied, "Well, the people, I would say. There is no patent. Could you patent the sun?" The vaccine was common property. It belonged to the people who had donated money for the public interest. Salk was later pitied for his decision. He could have earned $7 billion if his vaccine had been patented. His attitude to patenting, however, is not unique. Even in the era of excessive property protection, there is a new interest in open sources and access, global goods, and the notion of the commons. Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla Motors, decided in June 2014 to release all of his patents. Technological leadership is not defined by patents. The future of sustainable transport will be better served by openly sharing information and knowledge. All our patents belong to you. Exercise 2. By the early 1990s, the decline of the southwestern willow flycatcher was clear. In 1993, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, FWS, formally proposed listing the flycatcher as a federal endangered species and designating critical habitat, an important step under the Endangered Species Act that prevents damage to specific areas. The task of writing the rule that listed the bird as endangered under the Act fell to Rob Marshall. Marshall, a Yale-trained biologist with FWS in Arizona, was becoming disillusioned by the overall implementation of the Endangered Species Act. The FWS was highly politicized by powerful, moneyed interests that saw species listings and particularly habitat designations as a threat to business. If a species is listed but no critical habitat is designated, a now common pattern, then restrictions on business are far fewer. This created an atmosphere in which it was extremely difficult for technical biological staff to maintain their integrity, says Marshall. For example, the process to list the flycatcher as endangered began in 1992. The proposed rule didn't come out until 1995, and it took until 1997 to produce the final ruling to list it. The FWS only completed the listing because the watchdog organization, Center for Biological Diversity, sued them. Exercise 3. Translating theory into something that can be assessed in the physical environment means that phenomena are made measurable. It is often assumed that the phenomenon being measured is the same no matter how it is measured. Translations of theory into practice may differ, but these do not alter the nature of the phenomenon being measured. Without this assumption, measurement between different individuals made in different places or at different times could not be compared. The assumption does not, however, mean that this viewpoint is correct. Within quantum physics, there is a view that the observer and the phenomenon cannot be separated. The observer and phenomenon make up a single system, a measurement system. In this context, it is not possible to separate the measurement made from the measurement system within which it was made. The measurement and the phenomenon become combined in an unbreakable link in the measurement system. It is impossible to talk of a separate existence for the phenomenon, and so also, therefore, to talk of an independent measurement of that phenomenon. This means that within the supposedly objective, hard science of physics, it is accepted that reality and how it is measured form an inseparable whole. Exercise 4. Why are certain languages mistakenly thought to be primitive? There are several reasons. Some people consider other languages ugly or primitive sounding if those languages make use of sounds or sound combinations they find unclear because the sounds are greatly different from those of the languages they themselves speak. Such a view is based on the ethnocentric attitude that the characteristics of one's own language are obviously superior. But words that seem unpronounceable to speakers of one language, and are therefore considered obscure or even grotesque, are easily acquired by even the youngest native speakers of the language in which they occur. To a native speaker of English, the Czech word sprinkles, you flicked off something with your finger, looks quite strange, and its pronunciation may sound odd and even impossible because there is no vowel among the 8 consonants. For native speakers of Czech, of course, sprinkles is just another word. Which speech sounds are used and how they are combined to form words and utterances vary from one language to the next, and speakers of no language can claim that their language has done the selecting and combining better than another.